important things after students were arrested on the protest was the way that many lecturers up and down the country came up and stood by their students, and that recently the National Union of Lecturers at UCU has unanimously backed the Defend the Right to Protest campaign. So I just want to call up Jim Wolfreys, who's on the executive of the UCU.
We know that there's another hearing taking place this week, which is the police officer who we all saw in the video pushing Ian Tomlinson to the ground that resulted in his death. We also know that the police lied through their teeth about that. They said that he was ill and that protesters were trying to prevent them helping him. So we know that we're dealing with a police force that is prepared to use deadly violence against protesters and then lie through their teeth about what they've done. Well, the protesters who are going through the courts, the dozens and dozens of protesters, have been fighting and protesting on behalf of everybody. And there's a moral panic that was whipped up after the November the 10th protests at Millbank that really said windows are more important than students' education, that the police van on Whitehall was more important than the students who were being deprived their EMA or were having their tuition fees trebled. Well, there's a slogan in Spain over the last few weeks that says violence is 600 euros a month. In other words, violence is poverty. Violence is the cuts that they're carrying out to the health service, to the education system. Violence is taking books away from children so they're not going to be able to have access to the education that all of us have benefited from. So, Hannah's right. UCU voted unanimously to show solidarity with the protesters and support the Defend the Right to Protest campaign. But UCU, the Lecturers' Union, has also voted to call on the TUC to organise a general strike. We're all going to be out supporting people in NUT, in PCS, in UCU, who are taking strike action on the 30th of June. We see this as a stepping stone to mass action in the autumn, because we need a general strike to bring an end to these cuts. But the government is going to try and curtail the right to strike as well. So while Alan Kenny of the GMB union says we will need civil disobedience to defend the right to strike, we know that we're in a major battle and that defending our right to oppose these cuts is absolutely central to that. So when Alfie Meadows and Jodie McIntyre and Brian Simpson go into these hearings today, they're not just defending themselves, they are acting on behalf of all of us to defend our right to protest, to defend our right to defend our services, to defend our education and our health service. And in that sense, we are all Alfie Meadows, we're all Jodie McIntyre, we're all Brian Simpson, and we stand together with them, and we'll continue to fight against this government and against the police force whose role is to preserve inequality and to preserve the role of this government, which is attacking the majority of the population of this country.